If you're here listening and you're stuck with your lead generation, it's probably not a work ethic problem. It's more likely a wrong quadrant problem. All right, everybody, welcome back to another Re-Education Experience podcast with me, your host, Darren Langille, and this podcast-powered experience backed by Rome, which is Realtors on a Mission, where it's a free set of workshops that supplement these podcasts. So if you like what you hear and you want to go deeper, then join us at reeducation.school. Come in for free. There's no pitch, there's no nothing. It's just me giving more detail on these podcast episodes. Today, we're going to pick up right where we left off last one. So if this is episode 95. If you are like, I didn't hear last one, well, go to 94 and I went through some incredible dialogues. We're going to expand upon it. I'm not going to kind of go overlap it. I just want to work from there and jump off. So why this episode matters and what I'm talking about in the title was most agents have the wrong relationship with lead generation, period, right? What we do, and I talked about this last time, is we chase new or we copy what we see others doing online. But we rarely ask, well, does this fit me? Does this fit? Is this my time for this? Is this the right thing for my current business stage? And that's why I want to put this episode on. We broke down last time, the lead generation goes into two buckets, active, passive, right? But today we're going deeper into that, right? How to choose the right path, right? Within those two categories. Because not all active is the same. Not all passive is the same. Last episode, I just kind of lumped them together, but today we need to go one step deeper and almost into the sub framework. And I got to give credit where credit's due because, well, that's what people do. This framework is inspired by Alex Hormozi. If you don't follow him online, he's one of the most incredible business minds right now. And he's just building companies, but putting out content and giving it all for free. It's kind of my inspiration, honestly, to be doing this type of podcasting. Alex Hormozi's $100 Million Leads book speaks about how to build lead generation, but he breaks it down into the core four. And that's what I'm going to do. But today, instead of exploring the core four like he did, I've recreated this about a year ago when the book came out for real estate so that I can give to my mega team, to the people I coach, a complete simple breakdown of how to work these 200 and some pages into something super simple that we can take forward. So that's what we're going to do to operate here within that framework, but for real estate. So what we want to do, this episode won't be crazy long because if you want to go heavily into the active and passive buckets, go back to last episode because there's 20 minutes of like super great detail there. But let me quickly redefine some of this. Think of the core four as a quadrant, as a square. So if you think of like a perfect square, like a picture window, and then in a perfect picture window, you would see a line going down the middle and then a line down the top, one horizontal, one vertical. And you end up with two, right? You'd end up with four quadrants. So I said there's only two ways to have real estate, to create real estate conversations, actively or passively. Active, go get them. Passive, magnet, bring them to you. Well, we're going to go deeper today to say, well, there's actually a little bit more depth to this. Everything on the top side of this is what I'm going to call active, right? Everything on the bottom side of this setup is passive. So what you basically see is that each one of these buckets breaks one step further. The first bucket, number one, is what's called active, but more it's considered warm leads, right? One-to-one energy. You start the conversation. Pretty simple, right? Active, warm is to the people that know us, you guys, right? Warm leads are the people that know us, know our service-ish, have follow us, trust us, right? Talking to the people that already know you and your services, right? Who those people are, their past clients, their friends, their family, in your phone. They're just high-trust folks, low-cost people to get, right? But likely underused. Okay, that's the second one. The other part of the active bucket, so if we talk about the no, is the don't know, right? So this group of people that you can go out and talk to actively, right? These are cold. So if that was warm, number one. Number two is cold. Talking to people that don't know you, yet. Cold calling, door knocking, open house strategies, right? These are the things that I talked about last time, but I just lumped it all together. Low trust, for now, right? High rejection, likely. High reward, though, if you're doing this right. So most agents think of the active bucket, unfortunately, as like the hustle bucket. But my take on this is we need some hustle in our business, but we need to be understanding who we're hustling to, because the know bucket and the don't know bucket are different folks. They have a different level of understanding with you. They have a different message. So you need to match your message to the right market. Know us or don't know us. Now, if we're going to go to the bottom side of the core four, we're going to talk about this is more one-to-many energy, right? That's passive, one-to-many energy. Your content or your money will do the talking in this bucket. So this one, down on the passive side, is organic content, right? We talked about that in the passive bucket last week, but I didn't break it down. This was the things like social media posting, videos you create on YouTube, blogs you do, right? These are no cost in fixed cost, but they're costs in your time, right? Costs in your time, so it's a slow burn set of results. You post and you wait for engagement. You post and you wait and you wait and wait, right? We build our brand by bucket 3 over time to a larger audience, okay? The fourth bucket, again, breaking passive down again, because we did talk about this. This is kind of money-based amplification. Paid, right? Paid, organic, paid, right? Facebook ads, we talked about it. Google ads, SEO services, mailers you send in the mail, the traditional formats, right? Billboards you put out there to the world, right? Spending money to get in front of others, right? Scalable, but risky, because you might not be ready to convert the lead flow that comes from paid. You might not be prepared with the systems and the things within your world, right? What happens, and why I wanted to use this episode to define the core four, to expand it, is because as you heard last episode, active and passive, we just lumped all this together. Passive, I just lumped it all together, but I want you guys to think about it based on where you're at in your business, who you are as a realtor yet. Are you ready for the things like paid, or should I stay in this passive bucket, but all to do with organic, meaning free, but not free from your time? So many agents jump to passively too early, especially in the paid world, without earning the right, because they actually don't have the conversion skills yet. And I would just caution you in that, but we're going to dive into this over time. The question isn't what are the options, because last week I said I created an ebook for 260 ways to create your next real estate conversation, right? It's not about options. There's no lack of options. It's just to figure out which quadrant of the core four for real estate I should use right now. So let's talk about like how we do this. This is the core reason for this episode. How do I decide? Right? And I kind of thought about there's a couple strategic filters, right? And that we can make practical so that you can take this episode onward and hopefully join me in Rome to go deeper on this, right? 3 filters to choose the right quadrant for the next little bit. Filter number 1, right? What's your main resource right now? Write that down. What's your main resource right now? Are you time heavy and cash light? Right? A lot of new agents in this business are exactly there. Lots of time to figure out what to do. You're cash light. So where would we go, right? Well, this bucket has to be, you guys, the active bucket that you're taking the one-on-one non-scalable efforts forward, and you're chasing the warm bucket of people that now should be told that you're in this business. Plus, you should have some outbound to a cold army of people, the larger group of people that are out there that don't know you and certainly don't know you're in this real estate business. So what's your filter, right? Time heavy, cash light. What about if you are cash heavy, but time strapped, right? Maybe that's you, right? This is where I would consider paid, right? And outsourcing content. Because if you've got the capital to do it, maybe you're not actually that great at doing it. So this outsourced content supports you or your ability to get your message out further if you have the cash and you're light on time, right? What if you are maybe limited on both, right? If you're limited on both, well, we need to start warm. We have to, right? We have to start warm with the people that trust us, right? This is where we get the most ROI, right? And we get the least ramp up, because more often than not, if you start to show value to the people that trust you, if you start to show competency, show relevancy to the world, the people here, the warm people that know us and are learning about our services will perk up, right? So this would be filter number 1. Sound good? All right, again, we're going to go deeper on this stuff inside of Rome. Filter number 2 is this. What's your comfort zone? And should we be staying there? So there's 2 quick points that I wanted to walk you through on this. Do you love one-on-one convos, right? If this is the case, it's pretty fair to say that that active bucket really fills your boots, suits you, and you should play really hard here. There's a ton of agents that I know that don't have online skills, spend no money on marketing, and they are just really good people to a lot of people, and that gets them moving. The active bucket is where they play, right? Are you somebody, though, that potentially prefers, what's the opposite? To create quietly. It's kind of like me, right? Passively may work, but comfort isn't always the calling. And this was exactly my path. I love working behind the scenes in my own world, but I had to force myself out of my comfort zone to get out and do like I did last episode and told you that I went out and chased open houses. I went out and put myself into these discomfort places because as an ex-engineer, this was not my skill set, right? It's that comfort zone that I question is, should you stay there where you can create, but then you have to put yourself out there. Okay, it might not be your knee jerk. It may not be that you love the one-on-one convos and you're chasing them, but it's like you have to force yourself there. So that would be filter number 2. Filter number 3 here, you guys, as we finish these is, where are you in your career? Where are you in your career? If you're new, it's pretty expected that we should be starting with active. Warm people so that we can build the habits. Because at the beginning as a new agent, you are a proof of concept. You're not a walking proof of success yet, right? You're a proof of concept to your friends. You're a proof of concept to the people that know you. So to start with the warm and the ones that will trust you, that are watching you, that champion you, that want you to succeed, they will be on that journey with you from proof of concept to proof of success. So if you're a new agent, you need to be okay to start in the active warm, and then as you have some competency, go into the active cold, to easily get your message out there and grow and grow and grow. If you're a mid-stage agent, it's a little bit different, right? The mid-stage agent can start to layer in more content. Now, that doesn't mean the new agent doesn't put content out, but it's the hierarchy of how much time you're putting to content versus active, right? A mid-stage agent is likely catering to the people that they know, has worked in some confidence to go after cold, one-on-one, to build their business. But now you can adjust, because you are a walking proof of success now, to layer in more content, consistency, and maybe more energy around it because you've built the habits around this. And the content can help you scale quicker and convert better as you continue with all of the active, warm, and cold lead flow that you continue doing as a mid-stage agent that has paid the bills to get here. As an established agent, this is where adding paid can pour fuel onto what's already working. It's pretty simple, right? To be a new agent, a mid-stage agent, and jump right to paid where you don't have conversion strategies, skill sets, lessons in line, technology to support you, the paid fuel would be a deterrent and it would be wasted capital too early. That bucket may not be needed. And even to today, there's $500,000 producers all over my market that do not play in the paid bucket. They don't need it. They're happy playing in buckets warm, cold, and now we're exploring into content. So these are the things I would talk to you guys about, right? An example would be very similar. One of the agents I was coaching came to me, burned out from making Instagram Reels. Very similar story to my own, right? Made reels, learned the traction, but after posting for 3 straight months, nothing came in. This is a pretty normal story, though nobody wants to talk about it. When we looked at the business, we saw that he had an incredible network in his local market, from the past sports, from his kids' sports, from the neighbors in the community, but he just wasn't talking to any of them, and never was the real estate conversation happening because he sat kind of idle, hoping that would just come his way. We paused the dollars spent on the video creation. We slowed down the cadence of it, and we redeployed it so that he was just simply tackling some active one-on-one reach outs, some simple personal messages, and boom, over time you started to see the joy come back in his business, but also results, conversations, CMAs done, market analyses, searches, referrals, all this stuff starts to play in. But then again, with the content layer, created some credibility. So we don't need to chase the attention before we create conversations. It's just basically what it is. So again, this is a bolt-on episode to give you that clarity around the 4 quadrants and where do you fit. I'm going to ask you guys among the 1, 2, 3, 4, what if you focus for 30 days? What if instead of doing just a bit of all of them, you commit to one quadrant for the next 30 and focusing it? Don't switch it up. Don't go back and forth. Don't try this. No shiny object chasing. Just focus on, maybe it's quadrant 1. Maybe you're like, quadrant 1's pretty good, but this quadrant 2, I continue to leave out of the mix, right? Here's the map. Stage number 1, start active, warm. Then we build, we go active, cold with some passive content. And then we scale by going passive and paid. So just where are you? And could you put 30 days into this, right? The core 4, which I tell everybody, is not the target. It's not that you all have to have all core 4. It's just, and it's not about doing a little bit of all of them. It's just about choosing intentionally. And maybe this is yours. Maybe this is yours. Maybe this is yours. Maybe you're one of the unicorn agents that has all 4 of them together over time, right? So you guys, there's a lot to unpack here, but hopefully this is a great extra add-on to think about lead generation in the active passive bucket, but now breaking down actives into those that know me and that don't, passive to those that I do for free versus I pay to get out, and decide which part of the core 4 is for you. We will expand on this because there is kind of a plus opportunity for those that are looking to scale and create more leverage in our business. I want to share it early in this reboot so people have an idea where to go. And then as we go into the Rome workshops, we will unpack questions and force you down the path to create this in your business. So I hope this has been another great Re-Education Experience podcast for you. Come in, they're on Tuesdays. On the following Tuesday from every podcast release, you got to join us, reeducation.school, for free into Rome. I don't pitch anything, don't sell anything. You just get to take advantage of this, but deeper. Please share it with friends, and I hope to see you on the inside. If these podcasts are landing with you, I'd love you to, drop a review if you can, or a thumbs up, because that does help get this message further. I got nothing to sell. It's all for free, and I hope you're taking advantage. All right. I will see you again next time.